Hi, my name's Rob Metcalf. I'm 29 years old and I live in Earby in Lancashire in the UK. I'm married and I have a little boy. The other day I made the decision to post on my Facebook and Instagram that I had been diagnosed with synovial sarcoma. It was a pretty hard decision, one that me and my family had talked about for a while. Do you tell people what's going on, or do you keep it quiet and just try and get through it as a close-knit unit? I made the decision to tell people because I've lived in different countries. I've met so many different people whilst living in different countries, and I thought there'd be people out there that would want to know what's going on with me. I posted a video a couple of days ago of me and my son rolling around on the floor, and since posting that video I've had quite a lot of messages of support, which I'm truly thankful for, so thank you, and also a lot of questions about the type of sarcoma, what the prognosis is, and that kind of stuff. So in this video today I'm going to be talking about, I'm going to be answering some of those questions. I'm going to be talking about synovial sarcoma, where it is in my body, the causes, if there are some, or if it's known, and what symptoms I've had, and then I'm going to talk about how I was diagnosed. So first of all, synovial sarcoma. It's a very rare form of sarcoma. All the information I have on it, surprisingly, has come from Google, which I know people say you shouldn't Google what's going on with you, but because it's so rare, I haven't had a lot of information from my oncologists or my surgeons. I just know how they're planning to treat it, which from a point of view could be quite good, that they're just been so direct. We treat it, we remove it, done, hopefully. So synovial sarcoma, 3 in every 1 million people are diagnosed with this form of cancer. Those statistics are from the US. I can't really find much about it in the UK. Excuse me. It's a soft tissue sarcoma, and it forms from a genetic mutation. It's not hereditary, or there are no studies to show that it's hereditary. So that it's 2 genes mutate and they form another gene called something like SSX1, SSX2, and so on up to SSX4. The one I've got is SSX1 translocation. There are 3 types of synovial sarcoma that I'm aware of: biphasic, monophasic, and then undifferentiated. Because obviously my tumour is still in me, and we haven't had, and there's only been a small biopsy done, and we haven't had the tumour removed and fully tested. We don't know what type it is yet. Whether that makes a difference to prognosis outcomes, I don't really know. My tumour is in my pleura. Pleura is the lining of the lung. It's what lubricates it and makes it move fluidly. I think that's the right word. Smoothly. So pleura is a few millimeters thick and fluid filled. My tumour was first discovered in May 2018. I had been coughing since probably about January and had chest pain I put it down to chest infection, a cough, cold. After being told by my wife, my mum, mother-in-law, work colleagues to go to the doctors, I didn't listen to them. I just carried on working out on the climbing walls and in the service centre, servicing and fixing auto belays. And on the 3rd of May, my supervisor, Andy, got fed up with me coughing, throwing up, and he said, go to your GP. So I went to my GP and they sent me down to the local hospital, and I had a chest x-ray. And the next day I got a phone call from my GP saying that I had a small pneumothorax or lung collapse, and there was an unidentifiable object in the top left of my lung. I've had lung collapses in the past. I've had quite a few. I've had surgery to fix it. When she said there's an unidentified object, I said I don't really care about the lung collapse. I know that can be fixed, but I want to know what this object is. She said, yeah, of course, we're going to do some investigations. I went back to Airedale that day, had another x-ray, and they sent me away to come back in a week to see if my lung collapse had fixed itself. I'll skip forward a couple of weeks. I went into Blackburn Hospital with suspected pneumonia and sepsis. I've had pneumonia before in my right lung. I felt the same as I did when I had that the last time, so I kind of knew that that was the case. I was given IV antibiotics, and I said to the consultant there, I said, I know that this pneumonia can be fixed, but can you tell me what that is? And he said, because you've had different surgical intervention before in your pleura because of your lung collapses, there's a good chance it could be a fluid build-up, a cyst, or scar tissue. So I was like, okay. They did a CT scan and came back to me and said it could be a fibroma or a benign solitary fibrous tumour. Now at that point, I was thinking tumour, could it be cancer? And they were saying because of the way it looks, probably not, or we're pretty confident it's not. They did an MDT meeting, a multidisciplinary meeting, and from what the imaging was telling them, they decided that it was a cyst. So that was that. Skip forward another month to June. Airedale Hospital had referred me back to Leeds, St James's, which is where I had my original surgery. My surgeon said at the time that they were confident that it was a cyst. They'd had experts review the CT scans, so they were going to fix my lung collapse. If they could get to the cyst, they would remove it, biopsy it, just see what happens when they got in there. On June 27th, I think it was, I had a VATS pleurodesis, keyhole surgery, go in, put a load of like talc on your lung, and it makes it stick back to your pleura. After the surgery, I asked my consultant what had happened, or what he'd done, whether he'd done a biopsy, and at that time they said, we think it's a cyst and it should disappear on its own within 3 months. I was quite confident with their response, what they'd done, so off I went, recovered from the surgery. It took about 2 months. End of August, I was due to be going back to work on the 28th. Bear in mind, I've been off since May, so I was very much looking forward to getting back to work. Still in a bit of pain, but I needed to get back to work. And then I think it was the 24th of August, I had really, really sharp pain in the centre of my chest, and I thought, oh, it's my lung collapsed again, so I decided to go see my GP. He sent me back to Airedale just to have an x-ray just to make sure that it hadn't collapsed again. So I went down there, they did an x-ray. The doctor down there came in and said, you haven't got a lung collapse. I was like, that's brilliant, can get back to work, just what I wanted to hear. And he said, oh, wait there a minute. He said, on the x-ray it looks like this thing at the top of your left lung has doubled in size. And I said, right. He said, we want you to come back tomorrow for a CT scan, and we'll go from there. We think it might be a fibroma. I was like, so back to where we were in May. So the next day I went and had a CT scan. Same doctor came and saw me, and he said, yeah, it's definitely got bigger. It's over double the size that it was. So I think the next step is to have a biopsy, and then we'll go from there. 3-4 days later, I was called in to see a respiratory specialist, and he said, if we thought this was cancer, we would be telling you, and we would be hinting towards that. He said, we definitely don't think it is. We think it's a solid fibrous tumour. So the next step is biopsy, and then we'll speak to Leeds about having it removed. So that's what we did. 18th of September. Sorry, Alexa's going off on its own. 18th of September, I had a biopsy. 3 days later, I got called in to Airedale for the results of the biopsy, and my respiratory specialist said it's a solid fibrous tumour, pretty sure it's benign, so the next step is surgery. Right, fine. My brother came to that appointment with me, and we both came away from it feeling quite positive. I think I was still worried, really. He did mention that it was being sent off to Leeds to the sarcoma specialists. I'd never really heard of sarcoma before he said that it was being sent to them. So anyway, we left the appointment. Me being me, because I like to know everything, I googled sarcoma of the pleura, and I found the nastiest, most aggressive, unknown form of sarcoma on Google, which was synovial sarcoma. And I remember saying to my mother-in-law, after looking at so many different case studies, papers, PDFs from World Health Organization, saying to my mother-in-law, that's what I've got. I know it. I absolutely know it. The symptoms for synovial sarcoma can be lung collapses, chest pain, shortness of breath, quick growing. Some of them can be slow growing, but I said to her, that's definitely what I've got. She advised me to speak to my doctor or my respiratory specialist and see what he thought. So the next, I think it was the Monday after that, I rung the lung cancer nurse at Airedale. She got the doctor to ring me, and he said, you have nothing to worry about. We've done the results. They're just going to look over them, and you'll hear from your surgeon in no time. So that was that for me. He'd said it was fine. I think it was 2 weeks later, I spoke to, or probably a week later, I spoke to sarcoma specialist nurse at Leeds St James's, and she said, we're just doing a few more tests. You've got an appointment with your consultant on the 12th of October. I just don't want you worrying about it. So thanked her for the call and carried on. And then, so that was the 1st of October I spoke to her. And on the 12th, me and Beth went to see my surgeon. And he sat down, there was another nurse in, or there was a nurse in the room, and he was showing me my scans, and he was saying that, as you can see, the surgery we did in June to fix your lung collapse has been really successful. There's no other lung collapses. It's all very well stuck down, and they've done a biopsy on this thing. He went through the reasons why he couldn't remove it, why he couldn't biopsy it during the surgery, because he would have had to open me up, and if it hadn't have been cancer, putting me through that kind of surgery would have been pretty excessive if it had just been a bit of fluid, which I understand that. So he sat there and said, so it's come back as synovial sarcoma. At that point, I threw my hands up in the air, and sorry for swearing, and I said I fucking knew it. Beth was sat next to me, and she went a funny shade of grey-white. And my surgeon got straight to the point. He said, this is going to be treated, and then we're going to remove it. And that's what they've done. I've seen my oncologist quite a few times. I've had 25 sessions of radiotherapy, Monday to Friday, from the 16th of November to the 20th of December, going over to Leeds every day. My mum being my chauffeur, she had to put up with me criticising her driving every day. But no, it was good in a way, because me and mum got to spend a lot of time together, because we haven't over the years. She lives down in Oxford, but no, it was really good actually, considering the circumstances. And then, obviously I've been through lots of scans, CT scans, MRIs, PET scans, lots of x-rays. I think I am the most radiated human of 2018. And then Christmas Eve, I got a phone call from my oncologist saying that the results from my latest CT scan had come back, because there were worries that I had more tumours adjacent to my heart, or my pericardium. But he said that, again, they're quite confident that they're cysts, fluid build-up from the surgery I had in June, and that surgery is going to go ahead. So 30th of January this year, I'm having my tumour removed. I'm having a what's called a thoracotomy, so they're going to open me up under my left arm and undo all the surgery they did in June, and they're going to remove my tumour from my pleura, plus, like I said in the other video the other day, about 2 to 4 ribs. My surgeon said I don't need to worry about them, because where it is protected by my shoulder blade, so the tumour's right up in here. I'll post some pictures of the x-rays, CT scans on this video, so you'll be able to see the shrinkage and where it is. They're going to, obviously the first thing they're going to do is they're going to look at these other fluid buildups and drain them or whatever. If they're not fluid, they will be biopsied and I'll be closed back up. And if they are other tumours, then chemotherapy will start. But like I said in my post on Facebook the other day, and in the video that I made, they're confident, so I'm confident that I will have that surgery 30th of January. They will remove my tumour, plus other bits that I would quite like to leave in there, but that's just how it is. And then that'll be it. It'll be removed. Yes, I'm going to have follow-up scans. I think it's every 3 months for 2 years, then every 6 months for 5 years, and then annually, I think, thereafter. So yeah, that's my story of diagnosis. I know it's been quite long-winded, quite a long story. There is lots of other little things in between that's gone on, but it's not really to be known about. So yeah, that's that. The next video that I'm going to do, I'm going to try, I think I'm going to do something a bit stupid. I want to, even though I am in quite a bit of pain, I want to either try and walk up Crook Rise in Empsey. It's only a small hill, but this last year I have done, bar working for the first month and a half of the year out on climbing walls and working in the service centre, August to being diagnosed, I haven't done any exercise. I've become unfit, and obviously with having sarcoma, I'm unwell anyway. So I'm going to try and walk up Crook Rise and do a vlog, and that's going to be on mental health really, and how it's affected by cancer. So how I have been affected my mental state by being diagnosed with cancer, sarcoma. I'm just going to try and make it a bit more interesting than a blank wall. I may only get a third of the way up, I may get to the top, but we'll see. I may not even get there at all, but yeah, anyway, so I will leave it there. Thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm open to talk about it now. Yeah, thank you very much.